I am hoping that this is working. Today I had to come over to Pipestone and I'm here just kind of waiting around before I meet with the person I need to meet with. And so I thought I would do our devotions today at the monument at Pipestone. And when I come to this place, it's a Native American place. It's a place that is valued by them in a special way. It is valued because of something that is here. It's attached to a very strong story. I don't know how much of this you're seeing out here, but I just saw the most beautiful goldfinch. I had my camera tagged to him almost, so I don't know if you saw him or not. But is it absolutely gorgeous out here or what? But values. This place has a story. A very rich story. A powerful story. And it makes up the values that we have. We as Christians have a strong story too. We're told to love neighbor. I think it's time to start thinking about what our true values are. For me, those 2 commandments are everything. We are not back at church yet because I value my neighbor. I trust that what God has, the story that He has, I will be liberated through love of God and through love of neighbor. And love of neighbor takes into account taking care of my neighbor, keeping my neighbor safe, keeping God at the forefront of everything. And God tells us always to choose life. Ceremonies, I can tell you right now that ceremonies of togetherness with the Native Americans aren't happening. How important are ceremonies then to them? Incredibly. All ceremonies to a Native American are so important to them. But they are staying home. Because there's a value that goes over that even. And that's being alive. Being well. As I come up to this tree, you'll see pieces of cloth dangling from branches. This is not the only tree here. But people come out here and pray. And this is one of the things that I appreciate. It's this, now I lost the term for it. Holy envy. When I pray, when I give thanks to God, it's just words. There's no physical attachment. But here you see the ties. Some of them are tobacco ties. I don't know if you can see that or not. Tobacco is incredibly important. It's a sacred herb. So start to think about what do you value. Coming back to church in that building, as important as that is going to be for me and for you. And maybe our values are going to change over time. But I hope not. Yes, I want you to come back to that church sometime. But the most value that I have right now is just keep you safe. Don't think I don't like the church. Don't think that I don't think it's important to worship. In fact, I think it's very important to worship, which is why I'm doing it in church as much as possible. To hopefully satisfy you in some way that yes, you've been there. And I know it's not the same. And many of you have told me that, and I appreciate that so much. Thank you. But today, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I may actually do another one here as I get closer to the falls. But can you see, it's a vulture, but who cares? That beautiful flying bird up there. I don't know if it's on there or not. But I hope today you can enjoy being outside, perhaps alone, and simply thinking about what's the most important things to me. What do I truly value? And I'm going to be writing more on values later. Maybe that'll come out to you. Maybe it won't. I don't know. But I want you to start thinking about it. Values are important. And our bishop talked about this a little bit yesterday, which is why it's so heavy on my mind, because it made me think a little bit more that values are important, and it makes everything that we think about sacred. This is sacred ground, to Native Americans at least. There is a holiness about this place, because of the stories that they hold to be true. And that's our value. That's where our value comes from too. The stories that we hold to be true. What are your values? What story do you connect that value to? Something to think about.